nothing really happened.
We had not heard the application.
Oh, okay.
That sweater's with
What
us.
is this for?
The one that she checked off.
Oh, okay.
These are yours, you'll use these two tonight.
Okay.
I would say.
I read what was in the minutes, but I didn't.
Application
Start
will
with
go to
this and
criteria.
just to find the application.
Yeah.
We should
It's just the way they speak Angora rash.
Oh, that's true, that's a good point.
I just with him.
I never thought of that.
We tabled it.
But back in the day, Queen Victoria,
Yeah.
they, most of them came out like this.
Okay, like
Some came out like that. So, and the principal marking has to resemble a butterfly.
Oh, that's cool.
So happy eyes.
I got a pile of stuff to go through later after the app. I'll try to be fast.
We should talk about a meeting, kind of outline what that money's going for.
Yeah, that'd probably be a good idea.
Likes rabbits.
Yeah.
Get excited when they say kind of money.
Big increase.
Those moldy.
It comes up first.
You guys get to sell it, not me.
Comes up first.
He's a little hunter.
They may not ask. It may just go winging right by. Nobody may, you know, they may get caught up on the pencil budget for this, you know, the office or something. It's funny, you never know what they're gonna get on.
Someone will say, "What's this?"
One that turned snowshoe in this.
It's one of the first articles, so
One little spot where it's.
things will be fresh and
What I enjoy is
Someone's
watching
gonna
it
ask,
start
I'm sure.
in the fall and then starts
Yeah, right.
in the spring.
Yeah.
There's a whole water, we have water that goes down the whole side.
Do you know if
And then pools where.
do you know if Ann was gonna make it?
Driving
I heard no word.
behind them into that wetland back there.
Give her another minute or
Designated
two.
wetland.
She was in a couple days ago getting a registration or something. She didn't mention anything to me. I mean, I just waved at her, but.
We'll give her a few minutes.
Not like on a normal basis, with just melting, keep a dean and a fire going, and we have that going. Do you have a?
You want me to give her a jingle? I think I have her on my speed dial. Do that?
Speed down.
Yeah, right.
What speed?
We talked about doing that.
What's that?
So,
Your drain, don't you?
Michael, do you know if you're expecting?
I've got one
Boy or
interior.
Girl.
Yeah.
Yeah. My son and his wife would be the second girl. It actually works well.
I think she,
Hand-me-downs, all of
Because
the
you have all
stuff.
the
I think
clothes.
she's
and all
driving
that.
in.
Yeah.
Where we are.
Yeah.
Is it high over your
That's
place?
exciting.
Yeah, no, it's
They live
exciting.
locally?
That's why we had the.
They live in Portland.
Okay. That's nice.
They lived in Vermont for a long time. We bought a house in Portland 2.5 years ago.
That's a fun city.
Yeah. They were living in Burlington, so Portland.
Actually, Burlington's also a fun city.
Yeah, real nice. Yeah.
Portland, not so much for me.
Yeah.
I go there for a night, that's it.
Yeah.
I can't take much more than that.
Well, Sean grew up out here, so you know, he liked Burlington, and his wife grew up in the town about half the size of Durham.
Want to sit next to the chair, vice chair?
Rural woodsy.
Thank you.
Hey, how's that for service?
Yeah. My daughter's fiance from Derry. No, Derby, Vermont.
Yeah.
Right on the border.
Yeah.
We're all set, John. Give us a minute. All right. Call to order the meeting for April 1st. We have a quorum of attendees. When we stand for the Pledge of Allegiance.
pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Do we have any amendments to the agenda? Seeing none. We wanna wait until later to do minutes?
Yeah, let's move those to the end.
Continuing business, I see none. All right, moving right into a new business. Ariel Leclerc, step right on up.
This is my husband, Sebastian.
Hi. Can you give us a synopsis of what's up?
Sure. Well, I was here a couple months ago and told you guys basically what I want to do at our residence, teach horseback riding lessons, have a small horseback riding and boarding business on our property. And here we are again. You guys wanted me to fix the map for the prospective pasture and run-in that might happen in the future. So we did that, and so yeah.
Could you just summarize some of the detail from last time?
Oh,
In terms
sure.
of how many horses?
Oh,
and
sure. So
exactly what the business will look like?
Oh, sure, yeah. So I have 2 horses currently, and I haven't started teaching yet, but I have a client base of about 11 riders that ride weekly. So these riders come with their parents, or some of them are adults, and they come and they ride and then they go home. Currently don't have any boarders. These are my own 2 horses that I intend to use for lessons. I went to school for equine business management, so this is what I wanted to do. I have 2 small children at home, so it's going to be on a very small scale until they're, in school full time. And like we had said last time, is if we were going to grow bigger and bigger, that we would have to come back to the board at that time. And so I think I said up to 5 horses in my letter.
Yeah.
5 horses, and let's see. Riders a week.
Yeah, 15 to 20 riders a week.
15 to 20 riders a week.
Could you repeat that? I didn't hear that.
I'm sorry, 15 to 20 riders per week would be my maximum before I would need to come back to the board.
There would be there's no large barn facility. It would be just a standard run-in, 3-sided run-in shed. And the horses would live outside. It wouldn't be a
There's
big
no barn.
facility, with
There's no
a
barn.
lot of, traffic in and out. There would only be 1 or 2 cars at a time coming into park at our residence.
So you're using I'm trying to remember, you're using an existing structure that you already have?
Yes, we've
Yeah.
built I think it's 8 by 16 structure.
Okay.
Would this be seasonal, or would you ride through the winter?
Seasonal, yeah.
There may be boarders during the winter that would stay potentially.
But they're not going to be doing much riding.
No.
Not
Especially not this
not that
winter.
brave.
So but the up to 5 horses would include any boarders, right?
That's right, yeah.
Well, we want to go through the application checklist. You mind doing that, Ann?
Sure.
All right.
Alright, so copy of the site plan, date, scale, and North Point.
Change that.
So we don't have a date or a scale for North Point on this.
Is it on your map, Ariel? You have a large scale map in there?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's the same.
No, yeah, this is the same thing. Yep. Date.
So
We have a date on here.
date, scale, and North Point. So we need to know which day is north.
Which way is north?
It's just north.
Head out to the,
Just
head out the driveway is north, isn't it?
Are those the items that's missing again?
Yes.
Missing date?
Scale and North Point.
Any idea how what kind of scale that is?
Yeah, you kind of see the, like here, we've got a 120-foot setback, 80-foot setback, and the size of the sheds are there, so you can get a good idea. And the driveway is 50 feet, exactly.
Yeah, these are quarter scale or 1 inch scale.
Yeah, I don't know exactly.
This
Wouldn't be
is-
a standard scale.
This is shrunk anyway. Yeah.
So, do we want to require that, or do we want to waive that requirement? I think for my purposes, I want to know if this is enough information for us to go through and decide the rest of the questions. The rest of the criteria. We do have the setbacks. How big is your lot?
7.65.
Well, the date, we could put a date on it.
We can put a date on it. But specifically scale and North Point.
Scale be, yeah. We can get a pretty good idea of the scale on this Google map. What's that round thing there? Is that a dome or?
The two round things here?
No, in the Google
No.
image.
Oh, it was a pool, and we had the
Oh,
old
yeah.
owners, the sellers, take it out before we bought it. Because we have 2 young children, so we don't have a pool.
So what's your feeling, guys? Do we want to waive it, or do we want to require it? Do we need to require it?
Well, this one has. No, it doesn't. Is that the North Point in this top corner of the Google map?
I don't think it is.
I don't think so either. You don't
Oh, actually, it might be. This is pretty, yeah, I bet it is.
think so?
Yeah.
And if it is, I'm looking at it backwards because the cars are on the back side of the building. It looks
The
like.
driveway's running almost north and south.
Yeah, yeah, it is.
Kind of in line with the
Like,
driveway. So
Can't really see the driveway in this Google image. I'm assuming that that's
Tree
your,
canopy
that's
goes
your
over
front yard.
Exactly, yeah.
Yeah, where the cars are
north would
parked.
actually be this way.
Right.
And maybe, okay, and maybe that is. I'm looking at it upside down. So that could be the North Point.
Yeah, I would think it's reasonable to expect that, but it would be easy enough for them to put it on the map too.
Yeah, it will be.
How old is the map? Doesn't say.
Well,
I don't know.
The Google map would be
Yeah.
accurate as of like last summer.
Yeah.
because we bought the property in October. That's when the pool got removed.
How did you guys come up with this drawing?
That is a lot plan that came with our deed, and I whited out what the information that we didn't need, the extra information, and used PDF software to add in everything we needed.
And was that done by a surveyor, or who did the
Yeah,
lot plan?
I believe, yes, it was done by a surveyor. So I didn't draw the
Okay, so there should be a scale.
exactly. That's per the deed.
Okay.
It doesn't have a scale on your larger map
No,
plan?
the smaller one is just a
Blow up
shrunk
in the
down.
Well, I know, but the bigger one doesn't have a
No,
scale on it.
We've got this that shows the acreage there.
Do you have the original map that was attached to the deed?
Probably not with us, I don't think.
I don't have that with us.
No.
But that, your large
You want the large one?
plan doesn't have a scale on it.
No.
No.
No, it's exactly what we have.
No.
Doesn't really matter, cause this one's gonna be shrunken it.
Right. Right. So you wouldn't have it, there's no scale on it, but like I said, this was exactly 50 feet. So that would give you your scale for that. Not didn't alter the boundaries or anything,
Yeah.
So did you add on the
buildings that you've added on since you bought the property?
We've
You
added,
you drew those on this.
Yes, yeah, we added one chicken coop, and the run-in shed. Yeah. Everything else
hay
was there.
storage.
Yeah. In the hay store, the temporary, it's a temporary garage type thing.
Oh, those here, okay.
Well, it would be nice to have a scale on it, but I wanna move ahead. We have setbacks. We have the numbers as far as, but if we run into something else, that
Alright, so we're gonna come back to that one?
yes.
Yeah, let's come back to it
We're
and
gonna come back to
see
that
where we are.
Alright, so owner's name, address, I think we have that, right? Name and address of all abutting property owners. The applicant shall also include a copy of the abutter signed return receipt notices, or shall submit a signed acknowledgement of receipt by the abutters.
They're in her file,
Oh, okay.
the plastic envelope in the page.
Yes. So the one thing I noticed was that your letter said, 1 to 4 boarders and 10 to 15 lessons weekly.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So that's a little bit different than what we just talked about.
Okay, we'll go back to that,
Okay.
what you just said.
Okay. So we have all the green cards. Actually, if you don't mind, Paul will be our trusted documents. All right, sketch map showing general location of site within the town.
Are we saying number 2 is complete?
I think number 2 is complete.
Okay.
So I think she gave us the tax map with hers outlined, so 3 is complete.
Hmm?
Boundaries of all contiguous property under the control of the owner applicant. Do you have any abutting property? This is your only parcel. Okay, so that's an NA. 4 is NA. Zoning classification of the property, location of zoning boundary districts if the property is located in 2 or more zoning districts. Do we have
Which application is this? Southwest Bend Growth District.
Southwest Bend?
Yeah.
Okay, so
Is
that,
it in, is there any wetlands or resource protection or thereabouts?
I didn't see any on the map.
okay, so 5 is complete.
Mm.
6, bearings and distances of all property lines, and the source of information. So we don't have the, boundary line distances. So why don't we come,
Links, yes.
why don't we come back to that as well?
This is for the same.
The bearings and distances,
Do we have distances?
no.
No. Okay, so let's
No,
come-
we got setbacks, that's all we got.
Okay, so let's come back to 6. Location of all building setbacks required by this ordinance. I think we have that. Right,
Well,
at least for the run-in.
We don't have anything for the house.
We don't have anything for the house. Let's come back to that too, because the house isn't changing. The house exists. Will the house be used as part of the business at all?
We may include it as part, like a small office type of thing, but,
Not
But
at this
people won't
point.
be
but not at
coming,
this point.
but people won't be coming to the house for any reason. Right. So let's come back to 7. Location, dimensions, and ground floor elevations of all existing and proposed buildings on the site. So we've got dimensions of the proposed run-in. We've got dimensions of some of the other buildings, but not the house, and we don't have any elevations.
All the elevations would be zero, would be ground level.
Right, but then elevation
Yeah,
tells you
elevation
how high the
above sea
building goes
level.
up, right?
above sea levels, actually.
So why don't we come back to that? Does that make sense?
Yep.
The location and dimensions of driveway, parking and loading areas, and walkways existing and proposed. Where are folks gonna park?
That spot next to the driveway there.
So this sort of,
The square, yeah, to the left there,
and how many cars can you fit there?
up to 12.
Oh, wow. How big is it, do you know? Cause the dimensions aren't.
It's
on it.
probably 60 by 80.
It's a pretty good sized gravel pad in front of the garage and to the left of the garage area. I've
Okay,
been out to the house a couple of times, so
okay, and you said the driveway's 50 feet?
Yes.
the right of way is 50 feet.
The
Right,
of way.
right away.
And how long is the driveway?
It's about 800 feet from Pound Road to where it opens up in our driveway.
To here?
Exactly. Yeah.
So, are we calling that complete, or are we coming back to it?
Ground floor elevations. Now,
I thought we were coming back to that one.
yep, okay.
So what about
Oh, I'm
driveway,
sorry.
9?
I'm sorry,
Sorry.
Parking and loading areas, walkways. I would say that pretty
Yeah, I don't
well,
have any questions.
Okay, so we'll say that meets,
yeah.
that's complete.
Mm-hmm.
Alright, so 9 is complete. Location of intersecting roads or driveways within 450 feet of the site.
Well, if it's 800 feet up the driveway, then there's nothing. Unless you're closer to Route 136, then I think.
And it's more than 450. Yeah. That way too.
Does the site include the driveway?
Intersecting roads or driveways. The intersection would be up at Pound Road, I'd say. Yep.
Okay, so we think that's not applicable?
Yep.
Not really, because
Okay,
there is none.
so 10 is not applicable. So provisions for water supply and wastewater disposal, including soil test taken, and complete description of soil conditions, type of subsurface or other wastewater disposal system, and draft plumbing permit application.
What are you gonna do about, you're gonna have a, outside, a portable toilet at the site?
There'll be no additional plumbing.
No,
So they're
say
just gonna use
plumbing.
the house,
Yeah, they'll go into the house.
In the house, okay.
so not applicable?
It's already existing.
Yeah, number 11 is NA?
Well, that's what I'm asking the board.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay,
Yeah.
yes, 11 is
Yep.
NA.
Yep.
All right, location of open drainage courses, wetlands, stands of trees, and other natural features. So how does this property drain?
Basically around the outside of the property, if you're looking at it here. It's a little bit wet through here. It comes through this culvert this way. And then kind
So
of goes off
The
this way.
water flows this way,
Exactly.
and the water off this part, does it also just flow away?
I believe it does. I don't see any standing water there or anything, so it's
Okay. And there are no wetlands, you said? You said it's soggy back here, but they're not
Exactly.
classified as wetlands?
not that I
Well,
know
the,
of.
the back corner is in,
All they can do, yeah.
the way back of it.
The way back of it, what, Todd?
There's
Is
a
that
small
re-
wetland designated on the tax
Oh, I
maps
see.
towards the back of the property, but it's hard,
Hard to tell where it hits.
yeah, I'm
Yeah.
not, I'm not sure.
It's right on the border.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
So
All set.
do we need more information on that wetland and where it hits?
Well, unless they plan on going out there with horses. I don't see a problem with it.
Okay.
I'm okay.
So, complete?
Yes.
We have enough information? Alright. So 12 is complete. Direction of drainage across the site we just discussed, so that's complete. Yes? You guys aren't putting in any new drainage? 14, location and dimensions of existing and proposed signs. Do you have any signage?
Nothing?
No.
No, okay, so that's NA.
NA.
14 is NA.
The sign at the end of the driveway?
Oh, we may put, at some point, we may put a small sign that says, you know,
Is there a
whatever the
sign
name.
already at the end of
There
the
is
driveway?
no sign. We have a
There's
sign that says our
that has our
name
name on it and our address. It
Right.
says 12
That's
Pound
fine.
Road. That was there.
when we bought it,
Well,
right?
it had the other people's name on it, but
Okay.
yeah, no
Okay, so the application we're approving today has no signage.
sign.
Okay.
So that's an NA. 15, location and dimensions of any existing easements, copies of covenants or added restrictions. Are there any easements across your property?
Restrictions?
Do you have any easements across others? Is your driveway an easement or is that owned?
No, we own it.
Owned, okay.
But I believe we own an easement across the town's property, the maintenance facility, across the backside, I believe. That's part of our deed.
Okay.
It's a 50-foot right-of-way, and it's gonna be a mile around the whole property.
Do you have a copy of the deed?
We
We
do
don't
not
have it with us.
know with us, but that is part of the deed.
And there are no covenants or restrictions in your deed?
But that I know of.
There's a 50-foot right-of-way around number 74.
What is the town
The
own?
town's, the maintenance facility, right?
It's number 74.
I'm looking at
So if you're looking at the town's property on 136,
Yeah.
it'd be on the left-hand side, 50 feet off that boundary, going around the back of that property.
It's a long ways around.
Yes, it is.
And it's not shown on the map. It's not shown on the property map.
It'd be short, yeah, it would be on in the deed.
Yeah. Should be on here.
It might just be an easement and they haven't actually platted the right of way yet. Could be just a easement for crossing the property and not actual right of way.
I don't think that's important to this application, so I think it's complete. Are you guys okay with that?
Yep.
Alright. So 15 is complete. 16, location and type of exterior lighting. Are you gonna be adding any lighting?
No,
Okay, so nothing on the run-ins.
nothing.
So, NA.
So NA. You guys okay with that? Alright.
Yep.
Copies of state approvals and permits. Do you require any state permits or anything for this? Any driveway entrance or anything like that, Paul?
No.
Okay, so I think that's NA. You guys agree?
Yes.
Alright, so 17 is NA. 18, schedule of construction including anticipated beginning and completion dates. You aren't building anything now, right?
No.
Alright, so I think that's NA. Quantity, location, and storage and containment of hazardous materials or petroleum products. Are you guys adding any fuel sources? I think that's NA. You guys agree?
Yep.
Alright, 19 is NA. Brief description of the proposed conditional use, how it will operate, any facts the applicant wishes to bring to the planning board, information on financial capacity, neighboring water supplies, design of the project, and other information needed to demonstrate compliance. Do you think we have enough information?
Yes, I believe so.
Yeah, now that I think we've got clarity on scale, I'm kind of going back and forth on that, but
Okay,
I'm okay.
so 20 is complete. So we left for later decision, we're missing scale, we're missing North Point, we're missing bearings and distances of property lines, we're missing some building setbacks, ground floor elevations of proposed buildings, and that's it.
Yep.
So do we think we need those to decide the merits of this? Should we waive them, or should we require those to be submitted before us before we can consider this application?
My feeling is number 5 is pretty well secure.
6 you mean?
6.
Oh, okay.
So
Yeah,
I'm
number 6.
talking about
6, 7, and 8.
B 6, 7, and 8.
Yep. Yeah, number 6, I feel is, we've got a pretty good handle on that. Location of all building setbacks, number 7. The ones that they are gonna be using, we have the setback on.
So
It's right.
waive.
It's existing.
So waive 7 because the buildings that we're missing are existing.
Right.
All right. So 7 is waived. So the only building you're proposing is a second run-in shed. How tall will that be?
It's
What's the one now?
it's like 9.5 feet. And again, that'd be for future use. That wouldn't even be immediate.
So I would vote to waive number 8 as well because we have the necessary information on new buildings. What do you guys think?
I'm fine with that.
I'm okay.
All right, so 8 is waived. So that leaves us with B and 7, or 6, I'm sorry.
6, yeah. Uh, 6, we wanna go back to 6, or are we? Do you have a copy of your deed?
Not with us.
Well, what's the board's feeling?
I think we have the important setbacks and dimensions that in order to decide how the new use will impact the town and the other factors. They've given us the dimensions of the driveway. So I think I would vote to waive the outstanding dimensional requirements. I think we have enough information to decide.
Which number is that you're talking about?
6
6.
and B to a certain extent as well. We're missing scale.
Mhm.
So do we need more information or are we all set?
I don't think so. It'd be useful to have seen the deed and to have some sense of, you know, the North Point and all, but I think we've had enough because of this conversation to get a grasp of what we're looking at, so I'm okay with this.
Do we have enough information to
Yeah,
make our decision?
I think so.
Okay, so I would vote to waive B to the extent of scale and 6 to just 6. The bearings and distances of property lines.
Could you just repeat that?
So B, for the purpose of scale, is waived. The rest is complete. And 6 is waived.
So do we want to deem this application complete? Does somebody wanna make a motion to that, or?
I move to find that this application is complete with the waivers discussed.
Second.
All those in favor?
Alright, well, step 1.
Alrighty.
So you wanna hear from anyone else?
You wanna hear from abutters first before we go on?
Yeah, I
So-
think so.
Okay. Have a seat. Abutters one at a time?
Go up, state your name and your location.
One or two at a time, that's okay.
Well, 3 at a
That's
time.
the two of you, yeah.
My name is Faith Baker, and I reside at 20 Pound Road.
Can you just tell us which
Sure.
one that is?
And you gonna say your name?
Robert Smith at 20 Pound Road.
We are 75D.
Okay.
Oh, hold on. Let's get on that.
Get on the map.
So, Miss Baker and Mr. Smith?
Yes.
75D.
Yes, 20 Pound Road, 75D. Okay, so,
Let's go here first. I think, you mentioned there's no wetlands on the maps.
yeah.
There are wetlands. I have a brook that runs down the left side of my house, runs across the front yard, down the left side.
And where are you? You're
I'm on-
on this map?
75D?
75.
So we're
Your
talking,
deed?
what
Yeah.
he's talking about right here is that
Yeah.
there's water that flows right down the side here. Their culvert comes across the road.
Yeah.
It empties into an area that is, and it pools there. It's like a pond almost in the backyard. Then it flows down here next to their property, and you can even see the little wetland mark right there next to their property right there. And on the larger map, so we just had questions about the wetland because
there's
we
a
are
bigger-
concerned about our water.
There's a larger swamp on the left side of their driveway as you're going down. And it's swampy all year. I mean, it's a swamp.
Yeah,
And
this shows.
the swamp drains over into our yard through their culvert that runs under the road. So there are wetlands there.
And our well is right next to that, right next to the driveway,
So just-
next to the
so
little
just to-
stream there.
I just wanted to clarify that.
The dug well or not using?
It's a drilled well.
drilled well.
Yep.
I'm trying to find the map that was part of their application that actually showed a wetland. Here it is.
Yeah.
If I'm reading this correctly, this area right here is designated as a wetland, and it actually crosses over their property, but the water, the way it comes down, it flows into that area here and here. So there's a lot of water in the area, and our well is right next to that water there. So we did have some questions about that, but just to get
But
back.
again, it's
Do you
a
mind,
drill.
could I see the,
drilled well.
It's a drill well.
that map?
This one?
Yes, please.
That's our property.
Thank you.
Yeah, we
Okay,
just-
so, we actually own 665 feet along the northeast side of our property, running within a few feet of the Leclerc existing right-of-way, which is labeled as a driveway on their maps.
So
Our
that's 665?
665 feet, yep, all along that whole driveway there. And our southern boundary abuts the Leclerc's property for about 101.72 feet. So we've got about 766 feet of property of ours that abuts theirs. We have nothing against horses. We really like horses. We have no objection to the clerks being permitted to start their business and to operate what sounds like a wholesome business to us. So we're really not opposed to the business itself operating on the large tract of land that they have identified here as the site. The problem is we're really adamantly opposed to them being allowed to operate their business on this long, narrow driveway. And Ariel has consistently said that she plans to conduct her riding lessons on this driveway, and that boarders would be allowed to ride on the driveway. And we consider that to be the operation of the business, and we feel that it will adversely affect us in several ways. So we'd like to discuss that with you. And we appreciate you taking time to listen to our concerns, and we hope that you'll take them into consideration when considering what conditions might be imposed on this business. Because they really don't own any kind of a buffer land on either side of this driveway, our property pretty much goes right up, I don't know, you said 50 feet wide?
It has to be.
It's not 50 feet wide.
Well, the right-of-way itself is 50, has to be 50, at
Yeah,
least.
the gravel portion's
At
not.
least 50.
Okay, because the
No,
gravel
gravel
portion
wouldn't
is
be.
not, and.
No, the gravel wouldn't be.
Yeah, we're pretty much right up to the side of that driveway, as are the fields who are on the other side of that driveway. So we're respectfully requesting that you grant the permit for this business, but with a couple of conditions. And the first condition is we are concerned about the water quality and where they plan on putting their manure piles. Because of the flowing water down in this area, we want to make sure that this is on an impervious surface and covered in accordance with Section 5.413 of Durham's Groundwater Protection Act, so that any nitrates from that don't leach into that water field and ultimately end up in this whole water flow here. So we do hope that's taken care of. We're also concerned that she checked off no on her application when asked if they were near proximity to a wetland. So I think you can clearly see from this map that the wetland does abut them, and there's a lot of water in this area, so that is a concern. In addition to proper management of the horse manure piles, in accordance with the ordinances, we ask that all horse manure that's dropped by the Leclerc personal horses or any other horses on the driveway be removed to proper piles on the larger lot and not discarded to the edge of the driveway on or near our property. The second condition that we are requesting, which is a very important one to us and to our neighbors, the Fields, is that the business operations, including the riding lessons and riding of boarded horses, to be allowed to be conducted on their larger lot, which is approximately 7.65 acres, and not at any time on the right-of-way that lies between the Smith, Baker, and Field property. The reasons for this are, first of all, an intended use of a right-of-way is designated as a driveway, it means its use is intended for vehicular traffic to their lot. It's not for operating a business on. It has a potential to cause disturbance and increased risk of liability to us as the abutters. A driveway is not, in our opinion, a normal or safe place to operate a business that combines the unpredictable nature of large animals with people and vehicles, especially when there may be children or others participating in lessons on that. So you previously had asked whether the driveway was the site of the business, and I guess we'd like to have that clarified, because from what we've been told, they do plan on operating the business on the driveway, and we really don't want it operating on the driveway. I did talk with the owner of Chez Chevaux Horse Stables, and she agreed with me that she would never let her riders or boarders ride on the driveway that's intended for vehicle pass. And
that's not true.
Well, she agreed with me that it was not a safety, that it was a safety issue, and that she wouldn't have lessons there. We also feel there's a lack of a proper property buffer. The Leclerc, I guess the C is silent, correct?
Leclerc.
Leclerc, okay, I apologize for that. Leclerc, the Leclerc right-of-way driveway really has no or little buffer zone of their own property next to it on either side. At least that's true on our side of 665 feet. So for liability, privacy, and personal lifestyle reasons, we're not comfortable with them operating the business that close to our property line without any kind of land buffer to reduce our liability risk. It's a basic safety issue. I mean, conducting riding lessons on a long, narrow driveway where vehicles cannot turn around is inherently unsafe. Traffic is unpredictable. Cars of riding lesson clients and boarding house horse owners will be coming and going. The unpredictable delivery schedules for UPS trucks, oil trucks, hay trucks, other vehicles, plus the fact that they take up the width of the driveway, cannot turn around, and don't allow enough space for horses to pass to the side without going on to ours or our neighbor's property, should be reason enough not to operate a business on a driveway. Risk of liability. I know that, with all due respect to Ariel and her ability to train her horses, you really can't claim that a horse would never get spooked. And she's pretty much said that to us. I don't think even the most experienced handler or rider can make such a claim. Horses are unpredictable, and they do get spooked, and they do rear and so forth. I had the unfortunate experience of being thrown from a horse when I was 10 years old, and I landed about 8 to 10 feet away from it. Fortunately in a soft spot. But even the best riding stables, and I'm looking at Spring Point, clearly identifies in their release statements how dangerous horseback riding can be, and there's a real risk of horses throwing a rider. I know the Leclercs haven't lived here long enough, just since last fall, to really see the amount of wild animal traffic we have coming through, but we have deer and coyote and foxes that dart through our yard on a regular basis, and all it takes is one of these foxes to run right in front of a horse, and it can rear and throw a rider onto our property or onto the field property. There's just not enough space on this driveway to really be protective of the butters and reduce that risk of liability. So that's really one of the main reasons. And also there's a risk for the town as well, since we're coming to you presenting the safety concern and the lack of a buffer zone. If there, God forbid, was a horse that threw a child or something and they cracked their head open or, had a horrible injury or death, there certainly would be a lawsuit. And usually in a riding stable, because I've checked the other riding stables, there is a release form and a hold harmless agreement by either riders or boarders where they cannot hold the stables responsible for any injuries occurred, but that doesn't protect us as abutters. So even if there was an accident and a child or something was thrown onto our property and suffered death, they may not be able to sue the Leclercs, but they would be able to sue us. And so we're asking for your protection on that by forbidding the operation of this business on this driveway. If you do want to see any, or understand the dangers of horseback riding or look at the liability risk, you can look at some of these forms that are online at the Spring Point Farm in Durham. The other is disturbance to our and our neighbors' peace. We live out here in the country, and because we're on a fairly secluded piece of property, we have trained our dog to alert us when there are intruders in our area. And we're certainly responsible for our own dog, but we have noticed that the couple of times that the Leclercs did walk their own personal horse down on the property, that our dog was very stressed and started barking. We anticipate that with every horse that goes by, this is going to be an issue, and the dog will be barking towards the field property and creating a disturbance not only for us, but for them and for the riders. The dog barking is our responsibility, but we don't feel that we should have to change our lifestyle or bring our dog in every single time a horse goes by. The few things that I've asked Ariel for a little bit of concession on is, gee, could you turn your horses around a little bit further up this road so they're not coming right next to our house? And she refused to do that. And we're just asking for some kind of some kind of concession there, so that we can minimize the disturbance to ourselves and to our other neighbors, and the possibility that our dog might make a horse throw a person. So we think that, and also privacy and land use. A person 6 foot up on a horse coming by here is just going to be going very slowly. We have a very private backyard. We're taxed based on the quality of our yard as well. We are used to having privacy here. We'd like to see that privacy maintained, even though the business is operating behind us. And we think that a good way to do that, again, is for you to put a condition that the operation of the business not be on this driveway, that it stay back in the back where they have their riding ring and their corrals. We feel that the privacy factor is very, very important to us. The next factor. We feel that all of these issues that I've just discussed can really be eliminated by not having them conduct the business on the driveway. The privacy issues, the liability concerns, what else? The disturbance from the barking, all those things.
It's going to be bad enough that we're going to increase the traffic tenfold going up and down that driveway. And we're going to have to listen to these cars go by. We've got pollution, we've got dust, and it's a disturbance. How would you like it next to your house? You have to think of the abutters in this instance that I've had privacy. These lots were vacant when I bought my lot. No one was there, including me. So I built, and then the lot that Leclercs have supposedly wasn't supposed to be buildable. But all of a sudden, lo and behold, it became a buildable lot for some reason, and it got built upon. But privacy is important to us, as it is to a lot of people, and increased traffic is going to pose somewhat of an issue, but we're willing to concede that. We're not trying to be difficult neighbors. We're trying to be as friendly as we can, but we do need some concessions here somewhere.
The third condition that we're looking for is we'd like to have them erect a 6-foot-high stockade fence along just 56 feet of our 665 feet of frontage along their driveway. And the area that we're talking about is right next to our house where it's closest to this driveway, and in just a 56-foot range right here. I saw in the application that they wanted to buy 2 trees, and I'll let you speak to the trees, because
Well,
we
I'm
got
in the
trees.
process of cutting trees, actually, because we want to increase the sun. The trees are getting larger. They're large pine trees, and they're blocking the sun, and we're trying to put in increased garden space and stuff. So I've been cutting trees, and putting a couple of new trees in there is not going to help matters. It doesn't help me at all.
Actually, that is the one area on our property where there are no trees. So, and this is where the sun comes. It comes up here
Yeah.
and moves around like this. So that's the one area we actually get sun. So the last thing we want is more trees to be planted there. We feel that a stockade fence is a reasonable request. We priced it out for them, and I know with the 2 trees that they were looking at, I think they said somewhere around $300. Where's my fence? We priced it out at Home Depot.
It's like $400
Yeah, it's
for
like
56 feet
for
of fence.
66 feet. It's really not that much, and we feel that that would solve a lot of issues for us. It would prevent us from seeing all these cars go by. The dust that gets kicked up by the cars would hit the fence and not come onto our property. It would prevent any disturbance to our dog and the disturbance of our dog barking at that direction. And it would also offer us some privacy from all these cars that are going by that are so close to our house. So we really feel it's a reasonable request, and we hope that you'll take that into consideration.
Did you, excuse me, I'm sorry,
yes.
did you bring the slip from Home Depot by chance?
I
so that-
did. I have
Got
that
it
somewhere.
somewhere.
I've got such a
Yeah.
pile of
Sorry.
things here. Here it is.
Okay,
Do
it'd be
you
great
want
if you
that,
would,
or-
yeah, we could
Yeah,
submit that, that would be
we
great.
looked at 2 different types of fencing.
Forgot
One
my
was,
glasses, but-
it was a 6-foot by 8-foot spruce pine fir flat top stockade fence panel for $29.97. Now, the posts would have to be pressure treated, and those are $24.97. So we figured 7 panels at $29.97, that comes to $209. 8 posts at $24.97 is $199. So the total is around $400.
But that's not installed, right?
No.
That's just materials.
No, that's just materials, yeah. And we'd also be willing to, if they needed to get onto our property a little bit more, to put that, because there's just no buffer, there's no property buffer there. We're certainly willing to do that. And the other thing is that we are certainly willing, given the ground conditions right now and the fact that the Leclercs have expressed that they don't have a lot of money, which is a little bit of a concern for us in the whole business sense, but we're willing to say, you can have until June to put this fence in. So again, we feel we're being very fair on that. When we try to estimate the amount of increase in traffic and of course it's confusing because now she's saying 20 lessons a week and she said 10 to 15 before, so we're trying to make our calculations. I used to take my children to riding lessons and horseback riding lessons, and all my friends did as well, and we would drop our children off and then leave and do errands and then come back and pick up the kids and then leave again. So that's 4 times for each car, for each lesson. Times 15 lessons is 60 times a car is going down there. I spoke with the owner of the boarding stable, and she said that some of the owners of their horses come as many as 3 times a day to feed and be with their horses. That sounds like a lot to me, but if they're going down, coming back, going down, coming back, I don't know, that's 6 times for each person who's a boarder, times 7 days a week. That could be like 42 trips each week by just one person, and then you've got 5 boarders, so that's believe it or not, about 210 potential car trips, plus the 60 lessons, that comes to 270. This is the maximum, 270 additional car trips produced by the business each week, going right by our house. So again, we feel that putting a little privacy barrier in this very short area is the least that they can do. Okay. And I just got one more, Bob. The last condition, and this is one that Ariel already said that she planned to implement, so there really shouldn't be any issue, but we request that the speed limit on the driveway be set to 5 miles per hour to cut down on the kick-up of dust and to reduce noise and distraction. So again, the conditions, the disposal of the manure properly. Very important condition number 2, we really do not want operation of the business on the driveway right of way, due particularly to the lack of land buffer and risk of liability and basic safety. And then the fence, and then the 5 mile per hour sign. And other than that, we are very pleased to have a nice product.
There's one other thing that I just wanted to bring up. Pound Road's a private road. As such, increasing traffic is going to increase the wear and tear on the road. I contribute yearly to the road maintenance. as do a couple other neighbors. Not everyone does on that road. But with the increased traffic, I mean, I contribute to grading and plowing. And I think it would be reasonable with an increase in traffic that they also contribute. I mean, they don't have to, but it's a request.
Do you have a road maintenance agreement?
We don't.
No, it's really, you know, people try to be good neighbors there and respect their other neighbors' privacies and.
Town Road has no
Thanks.
maintenance agreement?
No.
Mike checked into it.
No, so it's like the last we heard from Ariel was, well, we don't have to contribute. So, and that kind of sounded a little unneighborly to me since they're going to be starting a business and, you know, it's definitely going to put wear and tear
Well,
on.
Pound Road gets muddy and it gets ruddy like any main road, and it needs maintenance. Luckily, we have a couple people that spend most of the time grading and plowing.
Yeah, and the gun club does, you know, they contribute a
contribute,
fair
yeah.
amount to it too, but it's
Imagine.
it's not them alone, it's several people on the road that contribute, and we feel that that would be fair for them to be contributing. I also have a question about their signage, because she did tell me they planned on putting a sign at the end of the road, so I'm not sure why that's changed as well, and we'll, not that we have an issue with the
No,
sign,
I have
but I
no
just
issue
was
with that,
curious
yeah.
why that changed, and
Well,
also-
and, I mean, it's up to her to
Yeah.
characterize her application however, so the way we're
Okay.
approving it right now, a
Is without a
sign
sign.
won't be allowed.
that's fine,
If she wants to change that, she can
okay.
Yeah, we have no issue.
come back to us.
Yep.
So
That's
I
it?
have a couple
Alright.
questions.
Go ahead.
The wetlands issue that you identified, it sounds like you're mostly telling us that it drains on the sides of their property.
Yeah, I think it does. So I'm not, but I'll tell you, the whole area is wet. That's just my concern. I would be concerned if I were them about, you know, just putting a pile of manure there and
We have a
having it-
wicked high water table.
Yeah, we do.
I mean, I had to build my
We do.
foundation up because I couldn't dig it in a normal
Yeah.
sense.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, but you don't know how the property drains across, how
I know
it
how it
drains
drains.
across their property.
It drains,
But you can
it
see it.
drains, as you're heading up their road, we're over here, they're up here. There's a swamp over here. That swamp crosses their road and goes into my property or our property and goes into the back and then drains away.
But you can actually
Um,
see on this, interestingly enough, you can actually see on this black and white.
So
photo,
is this
you
your
see-
house
Yes.
up here?
Yep.
Okay.
You can kind of see where there's a gap in the trees here.
Mm-hmm.
That's where the water flows down this way. And I know they're planning on doing the manure, and it might be far enough away to not be an issue. I don't know, but we just
Yeah, we don't know.
we thought we would question it. We're not trying to accuse or be
No,
any.
no.
No,
Yeah.
well,
I
we're trying to figure out.
Yeah, what
No,
the
I
best way
understand
There
is.
is.
that, yeah, yeah, I
you
just
know.
didn't want you to just bypass a wetland because it is there,
Yeah.
believe me. I've tried to walk out there and you can't
Yeah.
walk through there.
That's why I questioned it in the first place, because I live here.
Yeah. And the other thing is, I noticed that on
I
the
grew up
plan
there.
that they submitted, that they really
They did,
didn't
yeah.
put the entire driveway, and if this is considered part of the site of the business, it seems to me that the driveway dimensions should be included, and the information regarding our abutting property and considerations for the neighbors should be taken very seriously in this matter, particularly because there isn't a buffer zone there to protect us from liability of
So how far is your house from the road? From the
that's a
from
really
the right
good
away.
question.
From there
Let's-
right away,
Yeah.
I would say the
Don't know.
house itself is probably 60 feet,
You think it's
65
that
feet.
far?
From the right away.
Yeah,
I don't think
yeah.
it's that far.
Um,
I'll show you on this little map. See, we have trees right here, so we're not concerned about buffer zone there. But right about at the end of the garage, it's clear all the way along here. So, and we walk out this door and we use this area, and our deck is viewable from this area. So that's why we're asking for, you know, some kind of a barrier there, a visual and physical barrier to help protect our privacy, basically.
Do you have copies of that, or could we take
Of
copies
this?
of
make
that?
copies of
I
that.
I think we've got additional ones, so.
You can
Want to
take
take
one
that
if you
one,
want.
or I don't know if you,
Can we
that's the
get
one I.
copies? Just so we have them down the line.
Jill, actually, if you want to take the one
Oh.
you wrote on, that'd be great,
No,
so we
good.
can
I'm gonna give them
understand.
all copies.
Oh, we've got plenty of them.
So, my other question was with regard to liability. As I understood it, you were concerned that riders would get bucked off or dumped onto your property.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Ours or the
That's
field.
the concern.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's too,
yeah,
it's
I mean,
such a
it's-
narrow driveway that if a truck comes down one way and a horse is on there, where's it gonna go? I mean, it slopes off on each side, and then our properties are right up next to that, so it's like, that horse could throw somebody onto our property.
Okay.
Well,
And
plus you've
we're
got Pound
really
Road
concerned
that
about
has
that.
constant traffic. I mean, they got,
Pound
you know,
Road
the
does.
gun club and,
Yeah.
Yeah, but that's not
So
really
the-
associated with this, but
yes it is.
what do you mean?
If the horse is down the end of their
Oh,
driveway.
well, I don't
and
know
some-
if they're planning on on going on Pound Road, we haven't discussed that, but
No, but
we're more concerned about the operation of the business right next to us. And we don't think it's necessary, since they have all that land out back. Why would they need to come right next to us and cause a disturbance? And we just don't we don't understand.
So how wide is the driveway?
We haven't measured it, we were hoping that that was gonna be submitted and that you wouldn't waive it in your application.
The right of way,
About 10
is
feet.
50
And then-
feet, the
and then
driveway
it
bed should
slopes
be
on the
20
side.
And it
feet.
just slopes right down, yeah, and there's water
And on the sides, it's just grass.
No,
There's-
oh no.
What's
Oh,
on
no.
the sides?
Oh, no.
Rocks,
There's
trees,
stumps and all kinds of stuff.
stumps, things that could impale somebody, I mean.
Right, but I'm
we're really
asking,
serious
are
about
there,
this.
is there vegetation that's growing up on their property?
On
Like
their property,
trees?
no.
'Cause-
No,
So they've got a 50-foot right of way, so there's obviously the road plus
There's
20
20
feet on each
Um,
side.
feet on each side.
I've got a survey, but I'd have to pull out the survey to find out exactly where their driveway ends.
didn't you grant them a right of way?
Well,
No, that's
Or is that
CMP
the
had to
CMP?
have a right of
It
way
is
to
a
their
50
property.
foot right of way, so if the driveway's 10 feet wide,
Yeah, so it's
it's
gonna
gotta be
be.
somewhere near 40 feet.
That's weird, because our pin is like right
Side of the
there,
other.
right on the corner of where their driveway starts, so something's not right there with that.
Yeah, I'd
because-
have
Well,
to-
as long as it's.
And that's why we were
Doesn't
hoping
necessarily
you'd
have
ask
to
for
be on
It
dimensions.
would be
center.
on the side.
The driveway
Doesn't have to
bed
be
does not have to
necessarily
be in the
right.
center of the right of way. The right of way is 50 feet wide, and the standard driveway should be 20 feet with cut banks, and it can vary within that 50-foot range closer to either side, depending on who puts the road in and what they determine is requirement. So
Yeah.
your property pin may be very close to the edge of the actual driveway bed itself, but
Okay,
that they still have, that would mean that the majority of the 50 feet would be on the other side of the driveway at that particular point, so.
okay, so it could be that our driveway is closer, that their driveway, our property is closer to their driveway than on the field
Right.
side.
Correct.
So we
possible.
still are very concerned about
possible.
this liability and disruption and privacy and all these other issues. And we ask that you please consider not
Okay.
allowing the operation of the business on that driveway.
Thank you.
Okay, are there other butters that would, you guys are all set?
Chris Field, 1065 Royalsboro Road, so I can't remember my lot number,
Are you
75C?
75C?
75C.
Okay.
So, I
Okay.
I'll just be brief here. I guess I share the concerns as far as liability goes. If there was an accident, God forbid, we live in a very litigation friendly environment now, and I'm concerned that if the business is indemnified by them doing a release of, some type of release form, that doesn't protect the abutters. And if there was something, I would ask that some type of indemnification agreement happen with the abutters, that they bear I'm not a legal expert, but some type of indemnification agreement is executed with the abutters, that to the extent that injury is caused to the abutters, most likely financially because they're being sued, that indemnification agreement basically passes that liability off to the extent that it's caused by their business. Just a consideration. I'm not a legal expert, but I don't believe that we should bear any liability due to their business operations. But that's really on the water quality. I gotta say, we live in a swamp. It's really just on that other side. I've spent a lot of money. I've got a crazy basement drainage system that runs 10 months out of the year. That's just the way it is now. if I was building there, I would have built a few few feet higher probably, but that's, I don't know if the water table has changed over time, but it's just water concerns are an issue there. We've got a very fragile water supply as well. I don't think their operations are going to affect that very much, but we've noticed a water quality difference and spent a lot of money in water filtration and softener systems as the quality has changed since we've owned it. We own the land, we bought it about 10 years ago, so we've seen a lot of changes.
Do you have a drilled well?
We do. We do. And, you know, I can't, I don't want to just simply echo the concerns, but I think there's some good concerns brought up there. The indemnification, I really think is an issue. The water quality. Right of way, as far as the site itself, the way I understand, I may be wrong, right of way gives, the intent of that is to allow access to the property, not necessarily to operate a business on that right of way. And that there is going to be a lot of increased traffic, just as Faith and Bob pointed out, and I think we're very understanding in bearing that increased traffic very close to our houses. But I think I would be a lot more comfortable if the business operation was restricted to the main property and not the right of way. So.
Do you have the same privacy concerns?
Not so much. I can. Faith and Bob's house, I can see. We can see at this time of year. We can see right through the trees. It's very light growth in that area. You know, you can see right in my backyard. I can see their driveway easily. I'm not so concerned with that because I have a lot more setback from their right of way than they do. It's I can see their concerns. I would be concerned if I was in their property, because people going down that road are literally looking right at their deck. So no, that's about all I have really on that I'd add. Unless you have any questions for me.
All set?
All set.
Thank you.
Thanks. Anyone else?
Thank you. Christina Sklar's Libby,
I knew it.
79 Pound Road. I am not an immediate butter.
Mhm.
I am a property owner at the end of Pound Road. And what I'd like to bring to this consideration is a level more of not so much personal feelings that obviously can run with these types of projects, having come from many, many years with the Lewiston Planning Board.
Mhm.
But as a resident out there for 19 years, and as one of the major providers of service to the Pound Road, to the private Pound Road, I too have lived out there quite enough to see a decrease in wildlife. So I'd like to just clear the boards on some of the things that I think will help us stay focused. I do know Ariel professionally from my experience with the Freeport Veterinary. She was highly regarded there. She's an intelligent, well-educated individual. I know this because I too used to own horses, and I know the nature of horses. We have talked about the right-of-way issue, and my understanding is with regards to the road, this is a cooling area. This is going to be walking the horses up and down. And again, I'd like to just the common sense aspect here. If Ariel is even halfway successful, as the abutters are concerned, she'll be very lucky and probably be able to move her business elsewhere. We're talking a couple of animals, and we're talking the kind of traffic that would come during the daytime hours when the majority of us are all at work. So we are in favor, we being myself and my husband, to see this agriculturally zoned area being utilized. I am not making light of the concerns of the abutters. What I'm looking to do is put a little voice of reason in here, that this is a doable project. I believe if we look at some of the aspects of the concerns coupled with Ariel and her husband's sincere desire to make this work, Again, we do not see that minor piece of Pound Road being an issue. In fact, that area that comes off of 136 to Ariel's driveway is probably one of the best and most solid pieces of the road. The road itself is a challenge. But the gun club does provide an awful lot of funding to keep it up to spec, as does my husband and another resident on the road. So again, as a immediate abutter, no, I am not going to be concerned with the same issues as the Smith, Baker, and Field family. But then again, I am an abutter to that road, and that's a major piece. I think if we could help the project by addressing some of the concerns without becoming too financially onerous, use some common sense, I think we can find something here where all members are going to be satisfied with the outcome. I'd hate to see the project shot down because of the inability to financially address what are some legal issues and some personal, emotional issues. So I would ask that the board please consider all aspects. Thank you. Thank you.
Have the applicants back up?
Yep. Please, applicants.
So, I'm just wondering if you guys could address the use of the driveway. Just tell us how it's going to be used. I mean, you heard the concerns, but...
Yep. Thank you. Yes, and I heard the concerns. So, I never intend to be teaching a lesson on the driveway. So to clarify this, we aren't going to be doing circles on the driveway. We're not going to be going up and down and up and down. And I'm not going to try and teach my lesson with my loud lesson voice. I'm not going to be doing that. What I intend to do is, let's say, for example, it's a little child who's done a great job, and at the end of the lesson, her reward is she gets to do a little trail ride, we'll call it, and we go up the driveway and we come back down, and that's it. I understand the inherent risk of equine activities. They are dangerous, they are unpredictable. All of that I'm well aware of. So if you ride your horse at all outside of an arena, there are risks. There is wildlife. There are barking dogs. There are those things. People trail ride. People go up and down mountains. These things happen. You have just as much of a risk in the arena. Something can jump out of the woods and spook the horse. A loud noise could happen, or they may just spook for no reason. Maybe something's hurting them. So I would never want to, and I don't feel like I'm putting anybody I don't want to put any of my riders at an increased risk of injury. Yes, they could fall off on the driveway, they could fall off in the arena. So I understand what both the abutters are saying about if a rider falls onto their property. If I was them, I would be concerned too, but my riders aren't going to go flying 50 feet through the air, God forbid. That's too far. Okay, they're not going to get dumped on their property because we're not riding on their property. And
the right of way is 50 feet, and like we said, the driveway is 10 feet wide. So there is a minimum 10-foot buffer, even if it comes relatively close. There is a buffer. At the end of the driveway, it does widen out to go almost pin to pin, but that's the most of it.
Is there anything that you want to add to that?
No, of course we would have waiver forms. That's standard in the horse
and
facility.
I've never heard of, I forget who mentioned, but something about Faith had mentioned that the facility can be not held liable. I don't remember what you said it was
called
called.
a,
Hold harmless. Yeah,
Yeah,
I've
the
never heard
borders
of
sign a
that.
hold harmless agreement, which prevents them from suing you, but doesn't.
Yeah, I
That'd be-
mean, if
that'd
a
be the
rider
waiver.
falls off, it's on me. It's.
That's right.
I mean, I've never heard of that. I mean, I'm curious about it because I've never heard of anything like that. It's. I mean, a rider falls off, it's on me. I'm the instructor. It's my property. It's my business. So.
So what's your position on the stockade fence?
So, well.
Well,
a couple
due
of
to
things.
the rural nature of the property, we are in the middle of the woods,
You-
essentially,
you-
right? We are surrounded by trees.
I'm sorry.
Your tree stuff is in there.
So
Oh,
to maintain that
100%.
aesthetic rural feel, you know, a fence is a urban thing. It's not, how many fences do we see in Durham,
Right.
right? So our
We
stance
never-
is, we're willing to put up a couple trees that will grow over time, and that will add to the property
Oh, you want the
instead of
trees?
detract from them. That's our stance on that.
Right there.
It never, a fence never crossed our mind when we
We have a
bought,
copy
and
of that.
before I bought
Copy
this
of this.
property, you know, I called the town to say, you know, is this zoned for horseback riding lessons? This was my intent. This was what we were going to do there, and I never thought that I would be restricted from going up and down the driveway once in a while. I'm not gonna be teaching lessons out there. We're not gonna be hanging out there, but it will be nice. Say, you know, oh, let's be quiet and see what we can hear out here. I mean, it's just sort of a piece of the lesson, not every single lesson, but it might be a piece of it, a cooling out after, you know, okay, you're done in the arena, you know, now go walk up and down the driveway, cool out. It will be a good mental break for the horses as well, who are just used to being out back and seeing that. It's a good visual, you know, stimulation, but not a safety concern, and I would never want to put my riders or my butters in any kind of risk, physical or liability wise.
So here's where I come down on it is given the information about the driveway, I don't have enough information to make this decision now. We went through the checklist with the idea that we were evaluating what was happening on the property with the additional buildings. I'm happy to consider the driveway in it, but I need more information. So, and the rest of the board, we can talk about that as well. But, so I need to know, we've got a 50-foot right-of-way. Are you 10 feet from the Baker Smith side? Are you 15 feet from their side? I just need more information. So that's kind of where I am right now. I don't have enough information to evaluate this application, and I know you guys have been back a couple times, and this is frustrating. But that's where I am. I don't have enough information to evaluate the information that we've gotten tonight.
I'd almost like to have a site visit.
I
That
think
might not
it'd
be
be
a
a very
bad
good
thing, too.
idea.
Yeah, I mean, that's my issue. I'm having a hard time visualizing.
Mhm.
I mean, I've had descriptions, but I think a site visit would make a lot of sense.
Absolutely.
We have a better sense of sort of what we're up to here.
So unless you want us to proceed on the limited information, and I'm telling you, I don't have enough to vote to approve on what I've got. I would suggest that we table this with your agreement. Do we have enough time? I know we have to decide on this within a certain amount of time.
We're okay.
We're okay.
We're okay. We have
Alright.
60 days.
Okay. So I am going to move to table this
Second.
and to request a site visit.
Well, so just to make sure that I'm hearing you right, if the driveway is going to be incorporated in the business plan, we table.
Yes.
Okay, if the driveway were not incorporated in the business plan, does the
Would-
board have a sense that they would feel comfortable in completing the application, or, because there seems to be sort of two ways it could go here, and I think the applicant should probably have the opportunity to.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, I think when you weave through all the concerns expressed, it all sort of falls on the use of the driveway.
Yeah, I think the biggest one is the driveway.
Yeah, and everything else seems to be resolvable, or,
Yeah.
but the driveway seems to, the idea of creating a business that would use a driveway, and the scale is still a little hazy, and I don't have a sense of what the driveway looks like in terms of, what the boundaries are, and
And the pins are actually marked with orange flags, so
Yeah.
if you do a site visit, you will actually see the pins now. So.
yeah.
Yeah.
For the length of the driveway, or
Yeah, so the first two pins at the front of the driveway, and then the two middle pins.
sort of
and-
at the
It's
elbow?
gotta be
Yeah,
at the elbow.
actually,
There's a little
all the
dog
pins
leg.
are there, yeah.
It takes a little dog leg and
Yeah,
Okay.
it's gotta
get
be.
it back, so the pin should be pretty easy to see.
Because out of curiosity, I actually had the front of the property surveyed recently to verify where the pins were, just so we weren't encroaching on butters.
Mhm.
And the other part of that, and I think Paul was alluding to that, is as we go forward with this, is your determination of how important it is for you to use the driveway as part of your business, and whether you could do what you need to do without using the driveway.
Right, I mean,
I'm not, I'm
yeah,
just
no.
giving that to you.
I mean, I feel like it's probably the least important part of what I'm
Right.
gonna do there, but do I wanna say we're never gonna go up and down the driveway?
Yeah.
That's.
Do we want to set that limit?
That's
Okay,
tough.
at this point, you know what I mean? At this so early in the game here,
Yeah.
do we want to set the limit and set that precedent?
And then we can,
I mean,
I don't think they have to take it out of the game plan. If we decide it's not acceptable, we can put that as a condition on yours.
Mm.
So
Right.
I don't think they have to decide.
No, I wouldn't,
Yes,
I
it's
wouldn't
in,
make
no,
that
it's out.
decision today. I'm
Right.
just saying, as we go forward, that's.
But by the same, if I may, by the same token, if some of the financial implications of protecting some of the abutters' interests are at play, the application could go without the driveway, and as their financial stability increases to the point where they could then address the abutters' concerns, they could come back before the board and amend their application to include the driveway. So that's, there's a few avenues that you guys could decide to take, that might, make it easier for everybody in the long run, in the short run, or not. These are decisions you have to make, but it's important to look at all the sort of avenues. There's nothing set in stone. When it's done, it's done. It's not done. What's done is what you said you're gonna do. If you wanna do more, then it comes back to the board and the discussion starts over about what's necessary to deal with where you wanna go in the future with it. So it's not a dead-end road, whichever way you choose, so, just so you know.
All right, so I move to table and to request a site visit.
Second,
We need-
Second.
all's in favor?
Say, do we wanna schedule the site visit now?
Yeah, we should probably right now, because we get everybody ready.
Everybody's here.
How about Saturday morning?
I'm gonna give you guys.
How
these
about
are
9
our
a.m.?
checklists. So you can-
Oh, early Saturday morning.
And that gives
Put
you
that
a
in
good
there.
roadmap.
You have to, there will
So next
need to
time we
be
come back, it won't be.
some notification.
Yeah, it'll be a little easier on us. And these are all the questions
it's funny
we're
because
gonna look at.
I had one.
So not
I
this
went over,
Saturday.
I came
Yeah.
and went over it with Paul and it was all good. Apparently not.
Um,
So, thank you for your time, everybody. Appreciate
Okay.
it. Thank you.
Do you,
Yeah. So,
you wanna coordinate the timing of the site visit? Or how are we gonna do that? How are we gonna do this? We're gonna
whenever
decide
you
that?
want to come over.
We're gonna
Yeah.
decide this right now.
Yeah.
The easiest, everybody's right
Well,
here.
why don't we just do it right before the meeting? Does that make sense?
That's usually the best time to do
6:30?
it. Yeah.
No, next, okay.
Next meeting, so the 6th. Should still be light, right?
Yeah.
In another
Yeah.
month?
Oh, yeah.
Yep.
that April
Yep.
6th?
No, that would be
May
May
May.
6th.
at 6:30 p.m.
Does that work for you guys?
Oh, yeah, that's fine.
I think it's gonna take, a half hour of travel time.
Hmm.
Oh my god, I hope not more than that.
I know.
I
know, but
Drive me
so
wild.
many people, maybe
Well-
6:15.
That'd be pretty quick.
Well,
It's gonna walk up and
Good.
down the driveway.
665 feet of
That's what I wanna
driveway.
say, but I want to run that by you first.
Well, yeah.
Or do you just?
I anticipate we'll
Ask the
walk down the
question.
driveway,
Ask the
but if you
question.
think there's something important that we need to see, I think we can do that. Everybody should be there. It's a public meeting, so if you wanna be there, be there. If you don't wanna be there, we'll just wait.
You'll wave to us on the deck.
Get her in there.
No, but I got it.
We'll send our dog out barking at you, so you'll know how loud it does.
So I'm sorry, what's the address? What Pound Road?
12.
12, thank you.
There's a sign you can.
And I just have a question before everybody goes. Well, what Paul just said is exactly what I was thinking. Is since we're here, can we get? Do you have enough information to approve the business and then do the driveway in a separate thing? I'd like to get lessons started when the snow melts, and I'm really concerned that we've got to table it again and again, month after month, and and I've got to buy the certified letters again. I mean, it's an expense, and it's this time of hour is difficult for us because we have little kids. So I'm just wondering if that would be all right if you guys would, if you have enough information to okay the business without the driveway and do the driveway on May 6th or after the site visit.
Well, the
Throw it
driveway,
out there.
to amend it to include the driveway would be a new application.
Oh, okay.
So it would be, the process would then start at zero again and start all over. Which is certainly doable, but it's not that we can pick up part of it later and allow only part of it now. It's, so if you, typically as it's usually understood, if you fence it here, the application is complete as you fenced it, and any new additions start as a new application, a new application to amend an approved. So.
And I know this is frustrating for you. You've been back a couple times, and I know our ordinance is really hard, but we need the information, and it is in the ordinance. It's not easy to tell what we need, and we have people come in here with much less than you, and we have people coming here with much more.
Yeah.
So it's sort of,
Oh, yeah.
it's easier on us the more information we have.
Right.
Yeah.
Sure. Yeah. I understand.
So that's sort of where we're at. So
Aside from the driveway, is there any other information?
so we waived a couple requirements. You might want to go back. It can't hurt to address those. The wetlands issue's been brought up. You might want to be more clear about where the drainage goes.
Yeah.
And after we get so application completeness is step 1. Step 2, we walk through all the criteria. Are you going to create noise pollution? Are you going to create air pollution? Are you going to create water pollution? Are you going to adversely affect the neighbors? Those criteria are in that checklist, and they're also in our ordinance. Some people, I'm not saying have to, write up a blurb on each. This will not create air pollution because,
Okay.
like 6th grade writing
Where
sample.
are the manure piles?
Take
Things like
And
that.
so that's-
That was on there.
That takes
Yeah.
the guesswork out of us, so the more information we have, and same thing for the abutters, the more information we have, the better decision we can come
Right.
to,
Yeah.
and faster.
I'm sorry, I just want to say another thing. And I did want to clear up the manure pile issue. The manure that is created up and down the driveway, I would always take care of. That can be in the conditions, that it's not left there to go into people's water sources.
And there is a 200-foot downslope rule,
For horse manure.
For horse manure, and we are, if you look at our map there, the black dots, those are at least 200 feet from any standing water or any moving water.
Ariel
I'm sorry.
pulled the state of Maine's recommendations for horse and stabling and manure storage and so on, and used those guidelines to set up on the map where she indicated that certain storage and so on would occur, so that she's within those guidelines and
Great.
not
Okay.
creating any issues. So
I think you gave
Good.
us some of those.
I think it's in her file. I don't know
Yeah.
if I printed it for
Yeah,
you
you did.
guys. I wasn't sure if I
Yeah.
should print all the. Someone gets.
Does that supersede the town ordinance then?
No.
I don't know that the town has an ordinance as to regards to manure storage. We do.
Section 5.4.3 of your Groundwater Protection Act talks specifically about manure, so I just was curious.
The
That's our ordinance.
5.2.3.
5.4.3.
Okay.
The weight of manure spread must not exceed that recommended for the appropriate soil type under the main guidelines for manure and manure sludge disposal on land. Maine Soil and Water Conservation Commission, 1972.
So are you talking about all manure piles stored for more than a 9-month period?
Yes, that one. Yeah.
Are you guys gonna turn over your manure piles? Does somebody take them away for you, or?
No, we're gonna spread them out on the dry areas of the property. We're gonna have the specific manure piles till they break down, and then it's.
So you'll compost them and then spread them. How long is that process?
How long does it take to compost? Over the course of the summer, I mean.
So it will be turned over every 9 months, at least?
Yeah, at the very minimum 6 months, I would think.
Oh, also, this ordinance only applies to areas of the town designated as significant sand and gravel aquifer.
Correct.
So this is not an aquifer.
It's not an aquifer.
That's why it's
Your ordinance is hard to read.
They're terrible. They're terrible.
That's why it's called.
They are. No, I agree with you.
It's, right. Thanks.
Okay then.
Okay.
So we are in agreement, we're gonna table this and
Yes.
head up there.
And they're gonna bring a deed with them when they come back, right?
Yep, a deed and maybe some additional information. And then hopefully this is the last.
Thank you.
Thank you for your time.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Make sure you leave me mine.
We're still talking 6:30.
Paul, that good information. He won't remember a thing, right?
More like a 6:15 maybe?
I'd rather do 6:15.
Thank you. You could leave them
Guys,
both
you're
and I'll
killing me.
bring-
Well, I know.
You have to be careful.
Cutting it
Have a
close already.
job.
This is
All
mine.
right, 6:15.
This is mine.
You're-
I can sort
This
it
is
out
yours.
tomorrow and
Okay.
just give you, bring yours over.
Oh, this is mine. The rest is yours.
Thanks, Chris.
Okay. Sure, I've got the,
I understand. No,
butters noticing, I've got that here.
Yeah. That care is worth something, you know?
Hey, you're 99% there, okay?
Yeah. Thank you very
Try
much.
not to get discouraged.
Yeah, thank
You're-
you.
you're
Thank
close.
you, everybody.
All right?
Yeah. Only people anxiety when I'm going to these meetings, because it's not good for me.
I understand.
It just amazes me that this, I mean, good thing you're here.
It's all right. We'll
We'll
talk
get through
tomorrow. To make sure everything's all set for
You,
the site visit shouldn't take too long.
do you mind if I just drive down the driveway and back
Absolutely.
just to see?
Oh, please do.
We'll
Just
take you all back and
visual.
everything. Go over and
Yeah,
have a look.
we'll show you the horses.
I don't want to
We're
infringe.
nice people. We're not trying to
I don't
want to
bother you.
I
Don't want
We
to
have
bother
2 kids under 5. You won't be bothering us.
Thank
All right, thank you.
We've got to fix these ordinances. Like,
Mm-hmm.
we cannot keep having applications like this. We can't. This is not good for it. I mean, the last one came back before us 3 times. This one will be 3 times. I mean, these ordinances suck, and we need to do something different because it's not fair to them, and it's not fair to us, and it's not fair to the abutters that we're making stuff up on the fly.
Yeah.
This is
Well,
bad.
that's why
We've
the
been saying this.
$5,000 that's in the new budget.
Wow, so while we're speaking about ordinances,
Yes, we should talk about that.
the growth ordinance is, we do have a growth ordinance.
Who knew?
I just passed the rest of these
And
down.
of course, it's separate from everything else.
Yes, it should
That's
just
the
be
way we do things.
eliminated. It's so far out of state requirements. It's supposed to be reevaluated and readdressed and revoted on every 3 years. It's supposed to
so
contain
far away.
percentages for low-income housing. If you want to restrict growth, there's fairly strict guidelines. There's 2 sections in here on state statute for that. You can have this one if you want.
You had 2.
Do I
Here you
have
go.
2? Oh, no, I have 2. I stole one.
Shame.
So it's just one more piece of the puzzle here that we'll need to sort out.
All this.
And you had asked at the last meeting about doing findings of fact
Yep.
and conclusions, and according to your bylaws, that's a requisite.
Awesome.
So
Eh.
maybe you can kind of guide the board through what you see that
Yep.
format being and setting that up.
If
Well,
we had,
so let's talk about that.
Yeah.
We can do that a couple ways. We can have the applicant create proposed findings, which, considering the quality of the applications we're getting, that's not going to work.
No.
We can we can ask Paul to do it, which, you know, because I'm sure he doesn't have enough to do. Or we can ask poor Jill to do it from our meeting minutes.
I'm not a
'Cause
legal secretary.
She doesn't have enough
Hmm.
to do either. So, or we can ask our chair to do it. But definitely not our vice chair.
I have no legal experience.
You know, I mean, really, so it's, you know, we take the minutes, and so if we found, now I don't have my checklist anymore. Can I borrow yours for a second? So all it has to be is, you know, finding one will not result in undue water or air pollution because there are no additional air pollution
Yeah.
sources. You know, it's the conversations, it's what we're saying verbally, and it just needs to be bulleted out. Findings of fact are
Yeah,
just
the
what
reason-
we're going through, and then conclusions of law are it meets all the criteria because
I had set these up so there's room to write as you guys talk. When someone makes a motion, you're able to go ahead, whoever's doing it can actually write the motion, which is the finding, with that particular thing. So that whoever manages to file this has enough room to make the notes with the conversation and the votes, because you have to vote on each one, up and down. And then this would then get transcribed into legible print, approved by the board and put in a file. And that's pretty much the sort of nuts and bolts. It's not that complicated. It helps the board focus on making really simple and clear findings, because otherwise they get hard to.
So we go through the application checklist first, right?
Yeah.
Then go to criteria.
Yeah, the criteria is where that part comes into play.
Okay. So we go through the criteria one by one, say yes or no or approve,
and why
and then
and why.
Why.
When you
So
when
not
you make
just
a
yes,
motion,
no,
you
or
actually make the statement. You make the
Okay.
finding.
so we could put findings of fact and criteria right together in the conversation.
Correct. Yeah, someone would ask, you know, you would say, I find that this will not result in undue water or air pollution because, and then right underneath A, you would write what you say as the reason for that, and then everyone would vote up or down, then the next one, and the next one. And so by the time you're done with it, you've actually got it already laid out here, and then it just needs to get typed up and put in the record. That's sort of the reason that I spaced this out this way, so they'd be able to do that.
And that would satisfy most any lawyer.
Yes, that's the protocol, the legal protocol.
So we could, like I say, we could do criteria and findings of fact at the same time.
Yeah, use the criteria for the criteria outline what findings you're supposed to go for in the ordinance, and that's what these are, and so you would have it when you're done. So this just becomes the document that goes in the file when you're finished. This is what you base your denial or approval of the on. So anyway,
It doesn't seem like, you know, doesn't seem that difficult.
No, it's just used to getting into that.
Yeah,
Just
it's
used to
right.
getting into
it's
it, yes.
procedural.
Not just
Well,
yes.
if someone created them for us, then we wouldn't have to vote on each individually.
Yeah, but like you say, that's a really difficult thing to do.
Yes.
I know.
It's usually recommended when you wind up going to Superior Court that you do that for the court. You create all of the findings for them, so all the judge has to do is sign it and hand it back to you.
I want to avoid him.
They have a light for that. I have here, anyway, are we done with that for now?
Yep.
Growth ordinance. Did we finish talking about that?
Well, we don't have to talk about it tonight. If you look at the state, there's two sections in two different state statutes that outline the requirements for keeping it
Up to date.
prudent. So we either need to decide to bring it into compliance or eliminate it.
Can we eliminate it?
You can eliminate it by town
Okay.
vote.
which shall review and update the ordinance every 3 years.
Yeah, and it has to include a certain percentage of building permits have to be set specifically aside in the general, both growth district and residential rural district for low-income housing. There's a few other sort of benchmarks in there that have to be met.
When you pass it this way, have you signed it and pass it back this one?
Sign it. Sign it as far as what?
That's the conditional use permit for Burnham.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
These are the submittals that the landscape architect brought in regards to doing the shots at Burnham's. I had some issues with it.
Yeah.
All of the photographs that he took from Mike Sundberg's property were not included here.
How come?
I don't know how come. I didn't ask, but it's an abbreviated presentation, and I'm wondering why. There's some conclusions that he made in here based on that information, but didn't include the physical information, which was the photographs he took from Mike Sundberg's property at Burnham's garage.
So what was the outcome of that?
Well, he's asking, according to this, and there's a copy for everybody, he wants to see that the trees, that the height of the tree and berm combination is 13 feet instead of 10 like the board asked.
So we set out a maximum of 10, right?
Yeah, and I set that as in the permit, and I would think it, here you go. I would think the, at 18 inches a year, if it was 13 feet, it would be there fairly soon anyway, but I'm a little surprised why he did not include, I stood out in the middle of the field with a pole where he was on the porch of Sundberg's properties and moved it around so he could get them in line with the one with the green tag on it that you can see here, so that you could actually see what the physical elevation differences were. I'm not disputing his finding, but without that information in there, it isn't.
That's really only
It's
one
incomplete.
picture.
Yeah, it's incomplete.
Although, I mean,
Nothing was taken from Burnham's property.
What's that?
Nothing was taken.
No, no, not going towards Sunbird. It was all taken from Sunbird towards Burnham's because we were trying to hit a certain point on the garage.
But
and
not the reverse.
Yeah, because there was nothing to hit on
Right.
the reverse. Throw your old ordinance away.
No. No.
Cool. Thank you, Paul.
Yeah. These are the revisions from the last special town meeting, so this is the new ordinance, which includes the move back in the,
do we have
and the fee
anything
structure.
going before town meeting this weekend? Land use related?
I zoomed through it. I thought there was only the
Budget.
Put in
budget.
there. I don't think
Don't think there's
that we
anything else.
do. Did you read one of these? And then Burnham's, Mike Sundberg has filed an intent to appeal,
Yeah, but if,
so,
That's not surprising.
yeah. So that's in the process.
can we leave these right here to get?
This
It's
is
gonna wind
replacing
down.
this. Yeah.
Yes. Just the old one, Todd?
Yeah,
Yeah.
you have to make sure you get the whole old one out, so you're only working with just,
Thank you.
that's a complete ordinance, so.
Thank you.
So, part of what I'm seeing with the opposition and all of that is we've got folks on pretty small plots of land, comparatively, next to folks with larger plots of land who want to have businesses on them. Part of the problem I'm seeing is our zoning. You know, either we need to increase lot minimums so that folks are on their own big piece of land, and if they want the privacy, they've got it. Or maybe we need to change some of the zoning of what is and isn't allowed in these areas that have the smaller lots.
But that's a little bit difficult when the lot size standards are similar all the way through town.
Well, that's just it. Maybe we need to change that. And that's a bigger conversation, and that's gonna go over like a lead balloon at town meeting.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
Zoning's usually a tough,
But, yeah.
tough sell.
Yeah,
Because you wind up with people who have property that they think they've got 4 lots, and you sell them all outside of the growth district for going to 5 acre minimums, and they're thinking you just took 50 grand from them.
yeah.
Yep.
It
No, I
doesn't
get
go
it.
good.
That's gonna
I
be
get it.
very difficult.
But then you have people who have small lots in the country and are expecting it to stay country.
Right.
And you've got 3 acres.
And that's the rub.
the problem.
Yeah.
So do you set the ordinance up to allow people to do more with less scrutiny, or do you restrict people more
Right.
from what they do? And that's the argument.
That's very
So
difficult.
somebody that wants to do, your choices are somebody that wants to do horse riding lessons should either have to do it with a very simplified permit process and no planning board review, and or not be allowed to do it.
In this area.
Yeah,
And or not be allowed to do it on less than 15 acres, or, whatever. 7 acres is honestly not a lot for a horse property.
well, for a riding paddock and a couple of horses, it's not a lot for a stable. But for a riding paddock and a couple of horses for doing lessons, it's plenty. But I gotta tell you, maybe I don't gotta tell you.
Maybe you can tell us off the air.
Yeah. Probably should wait.
It's something I've noticed with the issues that we've got coming up are folks who bought a small piece of property, want it to be rural, expect it to stay rural, but have a small piece
That
of property.
seems to me to be the biggest thing, is their expectation of, you can't change my world. I bought my little piece of paradise, and now someone next door wants to turn it into their piece of paradise, which is my piece of paradise, and
Not in my backyard.
yeah, so it's
It's very difficult.
So does the town have a comprehensive plan in the works at all? Or?
I thought we were supposed to have a comp plan committee.
We're supposed to. It was supposed to have been done 6 years ago.
Right, but I thought that had started before,
Janet had started to get some inroads to putting one together, but it got tabled. It cost probably between 20 and 30,000 to put together a comp plan. And I brought it before the select board. We need to get on it. We're way overdue. That's exactly the sort of stuff in this particular case, that's where that argument starts. It's
Yeah, no,
like
agreed.
constructing
That
the comp plan
conversation.
And then
Yeah,
focus in the ordinance to apply.
yeah,
Because
agreed.
then you've got all the tools you need for folks that want to live in 2 acres of paradise and the world never changes. You can say, well, the town doesn't feel that way.
Well, if we're going through all this effort to update the ordinances, wouldn't it make sense to do the comprehensive plan first?
Well, that
No, and yes, it would make more sense, but the ordinance is such a mess, we can't wait to at least get it back into some sense of order. Before you make large structural applications and changes to the ordinance, I would agree, the next comp plan process should be done. But if you take the ordinance structurally and just try to put it back together so it makes some sense in its own content, it's gonna hit the benchmark about the time the comprehensive plan committee should be finished, and at that point, you can look at moving the next step into, all right, now where's it going in the next 10 years, and how does the ordinance jibe with that? That would be that's been my experience in Bodenham through the process, and it seems to work really well if you focus it that
And
way.
the comprehensive plan process is long.
Yeah,
A
it
lot
takes
of public hearings.
takes about 2
Lot of
years.
meetings.
you were on that one.
I was the chair at the end of it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yep.
yeah.
Usually it takes about
I
2
don't
years.
remember any of it so long ago.
Yeah,
That was
it's
a while.
15 years, 16 years
Oh,
ago.
it was a long time ago.
Yeah.
Long time ago.
That's terrible.
And then there's the more conventional application, we're looking into doing this in Bodenham, is that the comprehensive plan, instead of being a 10-year revision, goes through a 2-year revision, so that at the 10-year mark, you're already there.
That's right.
And it just sort of constantly stay updating it in the way that the towns change through time, and different things affect the way the town feels. It was gonna do this, but it didn't, and now it looks like this is an important issue that we need to sort of, bring into play. So it seems to me it'd be a good approach. Anyway, I think that's my spiel.
Okay.
I'm done.
Is anything required from us on the Sonberg Burnham?
The finding.
on whether this is sufficient?
Well, just the conclusions that we made on the criteria, if we can get that printed up and put in the file. The other thing, other things that we're gonna want to address very soon, our ordinance does not determine whether our appeals board is an appellate board or a de novo board. Yeah, and it needs to
And
change.
their jurisdiction? Does it
Pardon?
address jurisdiction?
Is it what?
Does it address a jurisdiction? Is it advisory only?
No, it doesn't address, no, it appears, at least as far as I can tell, in state, as far as the law court is concerned, if the description in the ordinance does not specifically state that the board is appellate, it's automatically de novo.
Yeah.
Which is really cumbersome, and just, I don't know if you guys know what that means. An appellate board would look at what you did and decide if you erred. If you erred, they would take whatever particular criteria that you erred in and send it back to you to redecide. They would say, okay, we agree with you that they didn't do this part, okay, but that's all they would look at, is to see that you handled yourself procedurally correct, you followed the proper processes, and came to what anyone would consider a reasonable conclusion. A de novo board starts the application from zero. It's like you didn't exist, you didn't do anything.
I'm fine with that, because then if they appeal our findings, ours don't matter.
Well, I think
As long as they have proper jurisdiction.
That's really how, I was on the appeal board for about 10 years, a long time ago. And that's how it functioned.
Yeah, if it doesn't
Starting at
specifically
zero.
state it's appellate,
much.
but I would
Really?
definitely
Yeah.
opt for an appellate appeals board in a heartbeat, just because it's expensive for the town to have to go through this process if people do it, and it's hard on an appellate board too. So my preference would be to have an appellate board and not a de novo board.
Yeah,
It's hard on applicants too.
surprised.
Pretty much. We were asking people to come sort of redo it with us.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, it's a while. It's been a while.
Yeah.
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 Yeah, it's been a while since you.
It's been a while
done
since the appeals board's been, I guess.
Yeah.
We haven't made too many people angry. Angry enough?
Gotta try. Gotta keep these people busy, right?
Well, to your credit, I think you guys handled it really, really well, and I don't see any reason why it should come out any different.
Yeah, I don't know that our findings were clear enough, but that's not for us to decide.
No.
That's right.
So we don't have to do anything with this?
No, it was just for information. It had come through with the package, and I wanted you guys to at least look at what was presented, and you can put it in the for what it's worth department. That was more just informational.
Okay. If the question comes up at town meeting, we allocated 5,000 extra to work on ordinances. There we go. The rest is payroll.
Yeah, and just ask anybody in the room that's gone through this ordinance for any reason in the world, and they'll tell you it needs work. So it shouldn't be an argument.
That was the conversation before the budget committee.
That's right.
I'm telling you,
Ask anybody that's looked at it.
I've been saying this for years and got nowhere.
You know, one of the things, Dan, that we did in Bodenham that was really helpful is we took all of our applications before the board and we broke them into 3 different groups, like the simplest group, the middle group, and the high impact group. And we focused the requirements of the applicant to the scale of what it is that they're doing.
Yeah, that's not a bad idea.
And it made a huge difference.
You know, the other thing, honestly, is the sophistication of the applicants. Somebody who's
they all
represented or anything like. Honestly, if they're an applicant and they've got a lawyer, I want them writing findings of fact for us to consider, and then we can change them. But we've got at least a format. I mean, that's not a fair
And you can
criteria.
request that of them without it having to be in the ordinance. You can just say, have you developed the findings for us? You know, I mean, a lot of these, I was surprised with the last attorney that was sitting here that seemed to be misunderstand that they were needing to present evidence and do the usual stuff, you know, so there was some confusion there, and I guess I wasn't sure why, but so it's not a bad idea to ask it of those that, like you say, if they're being represented.
Yeah, I don't think.
Make
Unfortunately, I don't
them
think we
do it.
can require it of some and not of others.
No.
but it can certainly be encouraged.
Hmm.
At least not some and others based on whether you can afford an attorney.
Yeah,
I mean, we can on scale. I think that's a good idea.
yeah.
Scope of the project, and then we have to talk about how we define scope, but or scale of the project.
Yeah, and I've got some formats that would be helpful for that, because the other part that comes into it is being a little more clear within, not the definitions, but the descriptions of what different businesses and how they apply to that format, so you don't wind up with Walmart thinking it's an easy go, and
Right.
somebody wanted to do a horse farm, this 5 riding lessons a week as a stay-at-home mom that's got to go through the knothole for stuff. So
Yeah.
As far as zoning goes, it was talked about back in late 70s, early 80s, and it was shot down. I kind of wish at that time Durham looked a whole lot different,
Oh yeah.
and at that time it might have made more sense than now, because Durham's changed a lot.
Durham is changing a lot. It's becoming a lot more of a bedroom community.
Yeah.
I've been here.
And it'd be very difficult to have a business zone. Where would you put it?
yeah,
You
that's
know,
the whole thing.
back then, it might have been feasible to have a business zone, but there's no
But
big piece that
Yeah.
you could put it in.
But even if you think, instead of thinking about a business zone, think about a residential zone. So, in town,
Okay.
minimum lot size is an acre, 2 acre, whatever we think is enough to preserve our sort of rural suburban character.
Mhm.
And then outside of that, you increase it. And
Yeah, and that
'cause if-
line is where the fight all
yeah,
is
oh
being-
yeah,
Well,
no,
that's-
I know that.
That's the whole
Because-
comprehensive plan process.
Yeah.
That was 75% of the conversation over months,
I'm
It
sure.
was-
trying to nail
Well,
that
because the
down.
reality is, if you've got your own 10 acres,
Yeah.
you're not gonna care what your neighbor's doing unless they're, running a dirt bike track or blasting rock.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You don't care because you've
Dirt
got
bike
enough
tracks came
room.
up at one point.
I know.
Well,
They came up,
I would add to that one of the most significant arguments that comes up when someone wants to do something next door is how it impacts the value of their property, not whether or not it impacts them personally, whether it's going to be noisy or smelly or anything else. The first thing people go to is my value. I mean, this person that was sitting here, she's been in many times, and that's one of her major complaints is if they put up a business sign, my property values are going to go down 20%.
I don't see how that happens.
And but that's the argument, and that's
No, I
and
get
so
it.
even though they've got the 10 acres of paradise, that particular argument is still going to keep coming forward, and that's
All right, what else do we need to do to go home?
Minutes?
I've lost
Yeah,
my minutes.
yes, we
Oh,
should
yeah.
look at minutes, huh?
ours.
You all got them a week or so ahead of time, so. I heard nothing back from any of you.
I did see
Run 'em.
one thing.
But you didn't write me back.
Well, I know, but I saw it earlier today.
Oh, my.
Jill's giving us homework now.
Well, I'm trying to get things
And
expedited.
it might just be a clarification for what I
Okay,
remember.
where are
At
you?
page 3,
Yes,
the 4th paragraph that starts David Truesdell.
yep,
The 4th line starts with the word 13. He contends there needs to be 13 trees. And then the next paragraph, plant the 4 additional trees as requested and make a total of 13. I didn't know if we needed to say in there that what had been presented initially was 9, or if it's inferred because we've got math here, 13 minus 4
I
equals 9.
said that plant 4 additional trees to make a total of 13.
Okay, I just wanted to make sure we didn't have to, okay.
two different ways get the same.
Yeah, I think it's covered.
Okay.
Anybody want to,
Oh, yeah, the road adoption by the town, the difference in the subdivision versus the land use, I think that's in the warrant, isn't it? I submitted it so that they would both be the same. Did it get submitted or not?
I flew through it, I'm not sure if it did.
Oh, I guess I'll have to check. I'm not sure if it did
I
either.
don't
then.
remember it. I read quickly, but it just,
I was looking for
I meant it to.
anything planning board related.
Yeah.
I meant it to.
As far as the warrant that's out here, it's not there.
Oh,
The
well.
warrant was signed before,
So we have one thing to do next week.
before it
Or
was
next year.
submitted.
Mm.
Yeah. All right. Well, that's all right.
Do you want to,
So, quick question on that, trees? So, the Burnhams have agreed with the 13, they're not coming back before us?
No, the Burnhams agreed, and the board required here for 10-foot.
No, I think we required a minimum of 10 foot. And I think
So-
that's why I'm going back through these minutes, and I think they're correct. We said they have to screen to 10 feet on the garage. The trees need to be a minimum of 10 feet, and sort of whatever the landscape architect determines with your oversight. And if they disagree with his findings, they come back to us.
Right.
I think that's what I.
Yeah, in other words, it was said that he could have a 6-foot berm and a 2-foot tree, and as long as he made the 10 feet.
Right.
That's what I understood. That
Yeah.
the
Right.
agreement with the board and the Burnhams and not the Sunberg was that 10-foot was the benchmark.
Was the lowest.
Yeah, but right, the lowest benchmark. And even though because we were not able to determine at the time with the landscape architect going at the building as to exactly what change was going to be required, if any, because of it. So what the conditional use permit that I printed reflected that 10-foot minimum. So I guess I didn't think the board was reliant upon the landscape architect's finding to determine the height of the trees.
I think we were, and we told them if they needed to come back, if they didn't like his finding, then come back to us.
Okay, I didn't remember that part.
And I think Jill captured it correctly, no lower than 10 feet, and they must be sufficient to screen the area of the garage up to 10 feet.
Yep.
So if 13 feet is required to screen up to 10 feet of the garage, then they need to plant 13 feet, and if they're unhappy with the landscape architect's finding that it'll require 13 feet, then
13 trees.
no, 13 feet.
13 feet.
Then they need to come back to us.
Right.
So I think Jill's minutes are correct. I want to make sure that the conditional use permit, which I did not read before I signed it, which I should have.
Well, I mean, it hasn't been given. I can reprint this to reflect that. All right.
So you're gonna move to approve the minutes?
I haven't made any motions.
All right.
No
I will
lower
make
than
this
10.
change, and we will sign it at the next meeting. How's that?
Okay.
do it.
Even though the information from the landscape architect is incomplete, you want to hold to his finding,
Jeez, I'd like to see a few more pictures.
Joe? Ann, I'm sorry, I'm tired. I've been up since
Wow,
5 this
that's
morning.
even the wrong gender. I don't know how to take that
I
one.
doubt I'm gonna clear the parking lot alive tonight.
We'll let you go
Get
first.
your keys first.
Yes.
I'm fine with the 13, and if the Burnhams are unhappy with the 13, they can come back to us with different information.
Right.
That's where I'm at. They think that
Does
that
the board
condition is
feel
unfair.
that way as well?
And that was sort of what I think my motion reflected.
Yeah, good. That site visit was supposed to determine the height of
Yeah,
the
to
trees.
clarify that.
Right. And so he found 13. If the Burnhams think that's wrong, come back to us and with
Good.
whatever information they have that's different than
13 feet.
13 feet.
Yeah, my only concern with is having taken those photographs with him that he didn't include the information from Sunberg's property to the garage to verify the 13-foot mark.
Yeah.
Which he should have. I don't understand why he didn't include it.
Slick and sleazy.
Well, no,
Well, it would be, It'd be useful to ask him.
Well, and I will. I wanted to talk to the board about it before I asked it of him. My summation is that it was not, he could not see the garage clear enough from Sunberg's property. I'm serious. He actually had to come down to their property at the tree line to have me move the stick because he couldn't see it clear enough. There's enough foliage
his
between the
eyesight.
two that it was almost impossible to see.
In the winter.
Glasses.
Yeah.
Well, why don't you ask him,
Yeah.
Like to see the picture.
produce the other photographs?
Yeah, and it's winter, so.
Well, yeah, especially if they're gonna appeal it, we might as well see it now.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Useful.
See photo 1? Where is photo 1?
Yeah,
It says he's up at the Sunberg residence. See photo 1.
well, he came down to the garage to take those two pictures at the garage.
See
Then
photo
he went back
2.
up to Sunberg's, and I put on the snowshoes because the snow was about 4 feet deep, and took the pole out and the pucker bushes between them, and he said, go to the left, go to the right, go to the left, and then stuck it down in the ground so that he could photograph seeing the one I was holding at the low spot straight over to their garage. But he didn't include, that was the critical shot.
Yeah.
I'm trying to determine why it wasn't included.
Well, the board would like to see the photograph.
Okay.
Yeah,
I'll
we'd like to see
request
photo
it.
1.
Yeah.
Or any others that he has.
Well, I don't want to see his dog Lucky or anything.
We might.
Yeah, I like those.
All right, I'm
want
gonna
the
move to approve these minutes.
Second.
All those in favor?
Now I'm gonna move to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn.
Second.
All those in favor?
Is John in there?
Thank you very much, people. That was